honestly surprised by how many people are angry that I said that mutual aid is not transactional. Mutual aid. Mutual aid. Mutual aid. Mutual aid again. Mutual aid. Any kind of mutual aid. I just need mutual aid. Mutual aid it up.
Mama, get the doctor on the line. Roger's on one again.
You are absolutely right. You are so right. It is people's choice to wear masks.
Oh, Roger. Mutual aid and mask in one day? I feel like you're really breaking out the hits for us. What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. All right, so for a while now, you guys have been really requesting in the comments an update on TikTok's most insufferable character, Mr., Mrs., I don't know how to say this, and I'm not even trying to be shady right now, but technically this is a person named Aslan T. Bird, aka Birdie Blossom, aka Aurora Bird, but around here we call him Roger. He really is an it's Pat situation.
A lot of people ask, who's he or she?
If you guys remember.
What can I say? I'm a very sexual being.
I'm sorry, but that's really the deal with Roger. And the reason I call him Roger is because he just has Roger energy. And I have noticed that some of you down below in the comments like to refer to him as Rogelio, which is the way you say Roger in Spanish. And I just want to say, I absolutely love you guys for that. I don't know why it brings such joy to my heart, but I love when you guys refer to him as Rogelio. And while I joke, Roger has mentioned on a video before, what they are is,
I am the fucking bear that will tear apart the man who hurts you. Do you understand me?
An assigned female at birth, transmasc, non-binary person. That's what they describe themselves as. But to me, Roger is just one of those people that tries to describe something that's actually quite simple in a very complicated way.
And I was socialized as female, okay? I was socialized as a woman.
And we don't usually talk about Roger in the way of what they are or how they identify. I just accept that Roger is a messed up person and that's what it is. And that has nothing to do with gender or gender identity. It's just that Roger is that kind of person that's always on one about something.
And I really need an EpiPen. I don't know what to do. Please. I need your help. I need help, y'all. You don't get to choose between me and the bear. Do not send Clarkson Lawson to my page.
And I'm not really sure what they go on about. I think their mission is just to get on everybody's nerves and kind of rage bait people into commenting on their stuff so that they'll make some money. Because Roger is also a huge beggar.
Right now I'm needing about $5,000.
That's the thing. Roger is always begging for something.
I need help. Yeah, I need help getting back on my feet. Please keep being kind to me.
So I'm gonna do this video because you guys requested it. I know I said I would do an update on Roger quite a while back, but please don't bust my cake pops about this.
I got my cake pops removed.
Because he's really an annoying enough person that I have to take them in doses. I cannot watch Roger for too long because I can't take all the begging and I also can't take the entitlement. The entitlement gets on my nerves in a way that I don't think anybody would ever truly be able to 100% grasp. It really is just too much for me. And if anybody's interested to see how this all started with Roger, I'll go ahead and make the link to the playlist that has all of the Roger videos, my pinned comment down below. So check that out if you want to see how we got to this point. But let's get into the Roger update. Just to catch you up, he's still being pressed about mutual aid. So we'll get into the concept of mutual aid as well. If anybody's like, what's mutual aid? Don't worry, we're going to get into it, but let's go ahead and let him start.
I'm honestly surprised by how many people are angry that I said that mutual aid is not transactional.
Ugh. Like I told you guys, still with the mutual aid. And look, Roger, one, I've already figured it out and decoded it for everybody. Everybody, including you, is pronouncing it wrong when you talk about this concept. It's actual mutual aid when it comes to you because you are a mooch. And two, nobody was ever mad at you about saying it wasn't transactional. People were just asking you what your part is in the mutual of it. It's called mutual aid. So what is your part of the mutual and what is your part of the aid? Exactly what aid do you offer, Roger? Because for a lot of us, it just looks like e-begging. To the untrained eye, it just looks like you constantly asking your audience to send you money, but then your part of it never comes up. Like you're never like, I did this for people, except for the one time you mentioned going to walk to get food.
I don't walk an hour and a half every day to get food for me and my neighbors because it's the only hot meal that a lot of us get because I want something from them.
Which I don't believe you actually did, because you're always saying your legs don't work.
Hard for me to walk.
And your arms don't work.
I don't even have one fully functioning arm at this point.
But somehow you're walking an hour and a half each way to get everybody food. Highly unlikely, Roger. So stop trying to make it seem like people are getting mad at you because you said it wasn't transactional. That's not the problem at all. That's a misstatement of facts. Everybody's just asking you, what exactly do you do? But yeah, so if this seems like a running theme to you guys, that in the last video, Roger was explaining mutual aid or arguing about mutual aid, I think what's going on here, honestly, is that Roger has just really realized that everybody's caught on to the fact that this is a grift. So, you know, when you call somebody out for lying about something or not being truthful or trying to mislead you, then suddenly they start getting offended. I think that's what happened with Roger, because suddenly he started making video after video trying to justify mutual aid.
And if you're angry about that, please look up the definition of mutual aid before you start yelling at me about it, because it's literally there in the definition that it's not hierarchy and that everybody is included.
Challenge accepted. Mutual aid is an organizational model. Okay, we're already failing right there because you seem to be the most disorganized person I've ever come across on TikTok, and that is saying a lot. But let's go on. Mutual aid is an organizational model where voluntary collaborative exchanges of resources and services for common benefit take place amongst community members. Okay, well, there's already so many things that you're missing here, Roger. There's already so many places that you're lacking, let's say. And that would be the fact that I don't really notice you being very collaborative. It just seems to be you, one person, begging on the internet all the time. So we're already missing that. Common benefit, you never offer anything in exchange for what it is you're doing, except for you were selling jewelry, tchotchkes, let's say, paintings on your website for a while, and then you stopped that because supposedly you didn't have one working arm left. But there was that. And also, I don't really know anybody that's ever been like, I was about to go hungry until you offered me those earrings that are in the shape of a hand. So there's also that, but let's go ahead and go on. Services for common benefit take place amongst community members to overcome social, economic, and political barriers to meeting common needs. Nothing about what you're doing is to meet common needs, though. Like I said, it's all about you. So you're not at all meeting the definition so far, and I'm not even halfway through. This can include physical resources like food, clothing, or medicine, as well as services like breakfast programs or education. These groups are often built for the daily needs of their communities. But mutual aid groups are also found throughout relief efforts such as in natural disasters and pandemics like C-19. Resources are shared unconditionally, contrasting this model from charity where conditions for gaining access to help are often set, such as means testing or grant stipulations. These groups often go beyond material or service exchange and are set up as a form of political participation in which people take responsibility for caring for one another and changing political conditions. Okay, nothing about what you're doing is political. I know you mention Palestine every once in a while.
Donate it to Palestinians.
And that probably makes you feel like in some way you're... Yeah, I'm stumped. You mention Palestine every once in a while and ask everybody to help there or to offer mutual aid to Palestine, but it's never about you doing anything for Palestine, and you never say anything really substantive about Palestine. So either way, you're still lacking, but let's continue to go on. Mutual aid groups are distinct in their drive to flatten the hierarchy, searching for collective consensus, decision-making across participating people, rather than placing leadership within a closed executive team. With this joint decision-making, all participating members are empowered to enact change and take responsibility for the group. Yeah, I never noticed you doing any of that, Roger. I gotta be honest. And really, you remind me of Wimpy from Popeye. I don't know if I'm the only one in this group that's old enough to remember Wimpy from Popeye. But Wimpy was Olive Oil's brother, I believe, if you ever watched Popeye. And he would always say,
I'd gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
And there was never an episode where he actually paid for those hamburgers. And just like Wimpy, I've never seen you yourself actually pay anybody back for anything. And I've never seen anybody in your comments like, hey, I got that delivery of stuff you said you were going to give me. It was so great. But I have seen you talk about how good you're eating.
Y'all's donations have literally been able to get me, like, groceries.
And how great everything's going for you. And every once in a while, you're able to buy little bits of joy.
Little tiny bits of joy throughout.
From the money that people have donated to you. So, like I said, I'm really not seeing the collaborative part of mutual aid now that you told me to look up the definition. By definition, what you're doing is mutual aid and not mutual aid, Roger. Say it with me. It's mutual aid and not mutual aid.
It is not dependent on what you give.
This is exactly what every person that always takes and never gives says. Because it can never be dependent on what you give because you never give. But no matter how socialist or communist your idea is, Roger, if it wasn't dependent on what anybody gave, there would be absolutely no benefit. Because if nobody ever gives anything, there's no aid. And if nobody ever gives anything in return, there's no mutual. Oh yeah, and before we go any further, please like, comment, and subscribe. The mission is to see how fast we can get to 100,000 subscribers. We're currently at 74,000 now. Thank you all very much. When you hit the subscribe button, make sure you click the bell and select all notifications so you know every time I upload. Now, let's get back to the ridiculousness that is Roger.
You are not taken care of to the degree of things that you can give. That's capitalism, y'all. Like, people keep trying to fit mutual aid into an individualistic, capitalistic mentality, and that's not how it works. It's the complete opposite. Mutual aid is based on community. It means that the most vulnerable people in our community and the people who have the least resources actually get the most care.
But my question is, why are you always the most vulnerable and have the least resources? I guess what I'm asking is, when is your turn? This video really feels like a seminar where you're teaching us how we can learn to let lazy people take advantage of us.
Because they're the ones who actually need it. It means that the people who have the most resources to give in that moment give those resources. If you're viewing the people in your life as transactions, you are dehumanizing the people around you.
Says the person who's always asking their audience to hit their Venmo or to donate to their GoFundMe. I've said it before and I'll say it again. GoFundMe, Cash App, Venmo, those are all transactional sites and platforms. So you're here preaching that we should not devalue people by treating them like transactions, while you're the one that's actively treating the people around you like transactions by using them as an online piggy bank and offering absolutely nothing. You don't even offer good vibes, Roger. Like, this video doesn't feel like you explaining anything in a fun way or you being at all entertaining. It's just like you being angry because you're finally being called out, and called out repeatedly because you keep pushing this concept that you yourself don't even live up to. So if you don't want us to look at people as transactions, you stop looking at your entire audience as transactions. By the way, I hope you got your apartment that you bilked $5,000 out of people for.
But literally in 24 hours, y'all have reached 20% of my GoFundMe goal. Thank you so much. I feel like I can breathe a little bit better.
Don't think I forgot about that, Mr. Lady.
You are inherently worthy of care simply because you exist. People are inherently worthy of care simply because they exist. Mutual aid does not mean both. It means all. It means everybody, and it especially means the people who cannot contribute based in a capitalistic way.
So let me get this straight. What you're saying is, for the people that don't want to do anything, like yourself, everyone is just supposed to give to them endlessly, even though they're doing absolutely nothing to help themselves. By the way, I notice your arms seem to be working fine right now. Any chance you're going to be getting out some of those orders that people have already paid you for online that you said that you would send out back in October and then suddenly never mentioned again? Which were really orders people had placed over the summer.
Orders are not going to be done by August 1st, obviously, because it's past August 1st.
And then it was right before October that you were like, I'm going to be getting some orders out. I was able to get materials. My hands are working. And that video seems to have disappeared as well. I know, because I looked for it because I wanted to include it in this one.
I would love if you could check out my shop. And also, I don't know when you're going to get your stuff.
If you ask me, you should just be honest with people. And in your shop, you should just start selling air. And then when people get nothing from you, you can be like, hey, you're welcome. Order fulfilled. Shipped. Delivered. Take a video of yourself breathing so I can confirm you got it. I don't even mean to be shady.
That if a capitalistic society does not find you valuable, guess what? You still get care. If you simply exist, you get care.
Well, you keep saying care, but what you always seem to want off of your online audience is money. And from watching you, I think the only thing anybody could gather from every one of your videos collectively is that when you say care, you really do mean financial support. So I feel like you want everybody else to be a socialist while you behave like a capitalist and just rake in their money. Let me know if I'm right or I'm wrong on that. Is that socialism? Or is that communism? Or is it just regular capitalism being sold as something else?
What y'all keep describing as mutual aid is actually capitalism.
Wait a minute. What we describe as mutual aid is actually capitalism? I mean, you're literally the one that keeps bringing up mutual aid.
Mutual aid. Mutual aid. Mutual aid. Mutual aid again.
Mutual aid.
Any kind of mutual aid. I just need mutual aid.
Mutual aid it up.
And I don't know about anybody else in the home audience, but I personally had never heard of the term mutual aid until I started seeing Roger's videos online. But then in video after video, old Roger here just kept saying mutual aid over and over and over while basically just begging for money. And after you saying mutual aid a million times, me and everybody else just started to press you about what exactly is mutual aid. Tell us how you benefit the group. Tell us what it is you offer to the collective. And so now that we're all pressing you, suddenly you're like, oh my God, you guys, why do you keep talking about mutual aid? It truly is gaslighting, because after you saying it so many times, now you're flipping it back on us like we're the ones that are just obsessed with this idea of mutual aid, when most of us had never heard about mutual aid until you started talking about it. And I'm not mad at you. Don't get me wrong, Roger. You really do have a good hustle going, because like I already said, you got $5,000 in one clip off of your audience. So apparently someone's buying your bullshit. Have you thought about starting up a cult? I think you'd be a good cult leader.
You are absolutely right. You are so right. It is people's choice to wear masks.
Oh, Roger. Mutual aid and mask in one day? I feel like you're really breaking out the hits for us. Is it my birthday and I didn't notice? Because to me, you talking about mask and mutual aid in the same day is your equivalent of breaking out the fine china. What's next? You gonna rip the plastic off the sofa for us? You gonna let us wear shoes in the house? Do we get to stay up past 11 p.m. and order pizza? I mean, you have no idea how special it makes me feel that you would take the time out of your day to not only tell us what to do with our money, but you also have ideas on what we should be doing with our bodies too. And all of this in back-to-back videos? How did we get so lucky, Roger?
Just like it's your choice to drink or not. I personally don't drink.
Time out. You're lying, Roger. You just fell off the wagon not too long ago.
I also relapsed on my sobriety journey, so it's been a really tough one.
It was after after you had chopped off your tits, but before you had cut your hair, if I remember correctly. And it was on the same day when you decided to spray paint your clogs and your headphones pink because
I have really wanted pink headphones and pink clogs for a really long time, so we're gonna do it.
you said that that would be feeding your inner child. But I digress. What I was getting at is, while you may be back to not drinking, me and my audience have long suspected that there's a little bit of substance abuse going on, Roger. So don't you dare try to sober Sally me, Mary Louise. I may be dumb, but I ain't stupid.
But if you want to drink, that's your prerogative.
Did this bitch just shade us and turn us into the problem drinkers in this situation? This is a masterclass in gaslighting. Roger is a goddamn black belt.
But it is illegal to get behind the wheel of a car after you've been drinking for a reason. Because when you drink and drive, then you are making safety decisions for other people, and you are endangering other people.
Yes, Roger. I think we can all agree drinking and driving is incredibly irresponsible. But this has nothing to do with wearing a mask. So can you please make your non-point already? Because I'm beginning to feel like you might be drunk right now.
So you can do whatever you would like to do when it comes to protection in your personal life for yourself.
Parents, please go back to spanking because damn it, Roger is annoying. And I can't help but feel that if there had been stronger discipline in the home when Roger was coming up, they would not be this annoying. I can 100% guarantee you that Roger was on a first name basis with his mother. I'm sure that growing up, not only was Roger highly decorated with participation ribbons, there was a trophy case dedicated to them. And these are things that I am sure of.
But when it comes to other people and COVID, you have a responsibility to your community.
COVID? What year is this, Roger? And yeah, I agree. I have a responsibility not to feed into their hysteria about something that we all realize at this point is basically like the flu. This speech you're giving right now is very 2020, Roger. Do you need me to call someone? I don't think you're doing well. And the more you talk, the more I feel like you've gone back to the ripple. Nipping off the flask. Hooked on the hooch. And if you are completely sober, you're in worse shape than I could have imagined. What I'm saying is, for the love of God, Roger, please tell me you've gone back to drinking. This can't be the sober you. It can't. I will not believe that this could be a sober person's thoughts.
You have a responsibility to not be reckless and to not put people in danger.
On second thought, maybe sobriety is the problem here. You got off everything and now you're hallucinating. I didn't plan on saying this, but I think you should go back to drinking. Your sobriety is hurting people. I just realized what this is and why me making this video is important. This is a reverse intervention. Roger, me and the rest of the internet are meeting with you today to ask you to go back to drinking. And feel free to throw in anything else that might take the edge off.
Don't drink and drive. Don't go out into public spaces without a mask.
Don't forget, Roger, this is the same crazy talk that got you thrown out of your hotel.
They're kicking me out of my hotel room because I asked them to wear an N95 mask.
And then it was right after that you got checked into the cuckoo's nest.
I just got out of the hospital, out of a long hospital stay.
I might be wrong, but I feel like somebody's in need of some quiet time again.
Very simple. Okay? People complain the same about drinking and driving. People complain the same about seatbelts. Like,
two different things, Roger. Now, on the drinking and driving, I will give it to you. That is people making decisions for other people. That's definitely what that is. But when it comes to seatbelts, if things go wrong, the only person that you're hurting is yourself. So while I personally always wear a seatbelt, and I would definitely encourage others to wear their seatbelts at all times as well, drinking and driving and not wearing a seatbelt are not the same thing. But also, if we're being truthful, I don't know what things are like in Asheville, North Carolina, but anywhere I've been, I haven't seen anybody arguing against using seatbelts.
okay, you hate safety, but guess what? It still needs to happen. Okay?
Okay, you hate safety, but guess what? It still needs to happen. Okay. All right, so there's your guys' Roger update, and as you can see, it was business as usual in that camp. Annoying as always, nothing to offer, still making excuses for why everybody should be doing for them. And I can't spend too much time in his gaslighting, begging ass world, or I'll end up going as crazy as Roger is. And while I hate to let you guys down, you know I do, this is definitely one of the last Roger videos I'm going to do. I'll give you guys the next update, let's say in the next week. In the next 7 days, I will come up with what will probably, unless something earth-shattering happens with this person, be my last Roger video. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you want to get caught up on the full series and see how the whole Roger situation started, click the playlist on your screen. Outside of that, thank you for watching. This has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.
They bought into his bullshit.